Hello, and welcome to The Reading Room, the podcast brought to you by your Rowan County Public Library. I'm Morgan.
And I'm Emery.
And in this episode, we want to talk to you about all of the stuff that's happening this month in September because it is National Library Card Signup Month, which is a big deal for us every year.
Yes, absolutely. It's a big deal for us, and it's a big deal for you guys if you lose a library card this month, because this is the 1 month out of the year that we won't charge you to replace it.
Because, of course, if you live in Kentucky, then a library card is always free the first time. And then different libraries charge different rates. Some of them already charge nothing, I guess. Others are going to charge you a little bit more. Our replacement cards are typically $1, but during September, because it is Library Card Sign-Up Month, they're free. So if you've lost your library card, just come to the desk. We will gladly give you a new one. No questions asked. It's not difficult. Some people I know get embarrassed about losing it, and they put off replacing it. Or some people, because they're just not like power library users, they kind of let it go for a while, and then when they're in anyway, they remember.
We also have several library card options. We've got our bookworm, our butterfly, our building, and our MSU Eagle card. So this is the perfect time to quote unquote lose your card if you've always wanted to change the image on it.
Yeah, if you decide that you just want a new one, now's the time. Now, let me ask you, because you deal with this question more than I do,
Sure.
And you will know the answer, because I want to make sure that I have not been telling people incorrectly. COVID has thrown everything into disarray.
Oh, absolutely.
Obviously.
Yeah.
We talk about that. It comes up every episode because you can't avoid talking about it.
Yeah.
But when we first got the MSU card, we were partnering with Morehead State University so that people who showed that card when they went to athletic events could get, I think, is it 5% off their ticket prices?
So I actually am not 100% sure on the percentage or like the amount that they get off. But from what I understand, yes, it is discounted prices for sports events and I think some other
maybe
stuff on
like
campus
theater
as well.
events or something.
It's difficult to discern at this point what any of those specifics were, because nothing's happening. No events have been going on anywhere because COVID.
That's my question, because I when you don't tell someone something for a long time, you start to forget pieces of it, and that's why I couldn't remember if it was 5 or 10%. I knew it was athletic ticket prices, athletic events, but I mean, if you're not playing basketball, if you're not playing volleyball or football or soccer or archery or whatever other sporting teams they have at the university nowadays, then no discounts on tickets for you. But I guess when it comes back, then it should still be good. As far as I know, they'll still honor it.
That is still the rule that we are abiding by.
I don't know how useful it is right now, but even if all you want to do is just show your Eagle pride, then like we do have that card available.
That is also the newest one in our repertoire. So if you have not seen it yet and you would like it over the one of the three options that you have from before, then this is the time to conveniently, quote unquote, lose your card, like we said.
Yeah, a wink,
and come get your Eagle card that we now offer.
That was really popular at Eagle Fest.
I'm sure.
When we went and signed up a lot of folks for library cards. And there were plenty of new incoming students who were also first-time library users, at least with our library. And the Eagle card was definitely the most popular one that people really liked. But right behind it, as always, was the butterfly.
The
butterfly remains the perennial favorite.
It certainly does. However, just a word of advice to everyone out there that if you select the bookworm card, your chances of being hired at the library increase by 5%. Okay. No, that's not true. But we did discover that accidentally every person that we asked on staff here, which was, I mean, probably 75% of the staff at least, we all have the bookworm. So maybe there's something about it. I don't know.
Maybe there is.
Maybe if you're feeling lucky, you can drop your resume by. We are hiring currently. Pick up a bookworm card since it's free right now.
I guess we should mention that because, of course, the library is a wonderful place to work, and we all love our jobs here. And it's great because, as I've quoted you before, like, it's not customer service, it's community service.
Absolutely.
And so we love serving the public and our neighbors, and especially during these times when everything is so tense, everything is so often uncertain. We try to be a place and a service that the area can count on, that everyone who lives in Rowan County can count on to be here and to continue to provide education and information and entertainment all for free. And that way, that's one less thing for you to worry about. That means, because it is such a wonderful place to work, generally speaking, people only vacate their positions here via, like, retirement. Usually, once you start working here, you tend to stay, unless you're a student. And then, of course, we've had people in the past multiple times who they've gotten accepted to master's school, or they've gotten accepted to doctoral school or something like that, and they've had to relocate and regretfully give up their positions here. And so we've had some openings here recently, and this is a golden opportunity for you to bring us your resume and an appropriate cover letter. And you can find more information about the positions we're hiring for at rowancountylibrary.org/jobs. And we are hiring for an outreach specialist, I believe.
Yes, we are hiring for an outreach assistant for our lovely bookmobile driver, Marilyn. She takes on far too much by herself, so we're looking for somebody to help her out.
With like home deliveries and bookmobile services to be the backup bookmobile driver, and to participate at events like when she goes to schools or when she goes to visit other organizations and institutions. She's going to need a little help carrying things, checking people in and out, getting to know the route, the customers and stuff, because, of course, our previous bookmobile driver, who had been the bookmobile librarian for Time Out of Mind, Donna, things just are not the same without her here.
They're absolutely not.
It's really very different. It's so strange every day when I come into the building and Donna's not here.
Me too, yeah. I definitely feel that, but Marilyn has done an incredible job.
She has
filling those shoes. I don't think anyone else could have done it the justice that Marilyn has done.
Because they were big shoes to fill, and she has taken and run with it. And that's, the people are already starting to get used to her face and to know that when they call in and ask, that they need to speak with her, which is great. But at the same time, if you only have one bookmobile librarian, then that means if someone gets sick, if someone has to take vacation or something like that, if there's, some kind of event that Marilyn has to go to, then no bookmobile. And so we need an outreach assistant. We're also hiring for some circulation positions. Our circulation staff has some openings. We
are hiring for 3 part-time circulation positions currently, which means, let me tell you guys, if you don't know, libraries are very different depending on where they're located, what the demographics are like. But our library, our staff is small. So to be missing 3 circulation workers, it's a lot for us.
It's a bit, you all have been scurrying
these
last couple weeks.
We have. So
it's the hustle is real. It's tense.
Not only will you be doing yourself a favor because it is such an incredible work environment, but do us a solid and just drop in a resume, apply for one of these positions, please.
Yeah, and it's a great way to improve your community as well. And we're also hiring for 2 part-time IT associates, information technology specialists, which will be working with the circulation team. I believe that the goal is for them to kind of be sort of the on-call technology advisors, so that way they can come out from behind the desk and help patrons who have computer questions or who need assistance with printing or faxing or things like that. And that way you and the rest of the circulation staff will be able to concentrate on what you need to do while they deal with that.
Precisely. So if you've got more thorough IT knowledge, then turn it off and back on. we would love to we would love to have you drop by our resume. It's been a little tough lately.
The printers are starting to fight back.
They certainly are. They've developed minds of their own, and we need an army, frankly. So
the printers' revolutionary front is starting to gain ground in the back office.
It's beginning.
Well,
we're afraid.
I for one welcome our new office center overlords.
We're going to get way too close to a whole new conversation about trucks by Stephen King. If you guys haven't listened to the first episode of the podcast, that's where we're headed right now.
Yes.
So go check that out and you'll find out.
Or was that? No, that was episode 2.
Was it episode 2?
It's been so much has happened.
No, you're right. It was episode 2. But
so much has happened that we don't even know what we're doing on our own podcast. In case that was not already evident, but like in this case, I'm going to use the current atmosphere as an excuse.
We'll pretend to have a valid excuse.
Yeah, exactly. We'll seize on whatever convenient excuse is available. And so yeah, it's Library Card Signup Month. It's also Come Work at Your Library Month, apparently.
Yes.
And what else is going on in our community? We've got the Arts and Antiques Fair.
Yes, we have the Arts and Antiques Fair.
That is Saturday, September the 18th. And I believe that is going to be out in front of the Moorhead Conference Center. And, I don't know how this passed me by. But when the Arts and Antiques Fair was mentioned to me, it was actually the first time I'd heard of it. I thought someone was telling me about the Arts and Eats Festival and like their phone had auto-corrected or something.
Yes, so did I. The first time that I heard it, it was by word of mouth, but I thought that someone had just misspoken.
Yeah, because I'm used to hearing about Arts and Eats, but the Arts and Antiques was new to me, and so I asked about it, and they said, no, it's basically like the Arts and Eats Festival, except instead of food and food trucks, food vendors, there are antique sellers.
So does that mean that Arts and Antiques is replacing Arts and Eats for this year?
No, I don't know for sure. It is not the same event, obviously. I'm not sure if it is replacing it because I think that Arts and Eats, and don't quote me on this, but I think that Arts and Eats is usually in October.
Okay.
Which means that the Arts and Eats Festival, I believe, is still happening because we had Freedom Fest in July.
Right.
So now, of course, since then, we have had a lot of rising case numbers in Rowan County and in all of the adjacent counties and in all of the counties adjacent to those. So the whole region is kind of in the red regarding COVID-19 at the moment, last that I heard.
I think essentially the whole state is...
Yeah, well, I mean, the whole country is kind of there. It's not over just because we're over it, unfortunately.
It certainly is not.
And so that means that I don't know what the future holds. Just like here, where we're constantly having to adapt and react to that with regards to our programming and our events, the city and the county have to do the same thing. But so they felt comfortable enough to have Freedom Fest in July. And I don't know and won't speculate on how, if at all, that may or may not have contributed to the rising case numbers that we saw in August. But what that means is that Arts and Eats could be up in the air. I know that for Arts and Antiques, they have informed me that they're doing everything that they can to make things reasonably safe. They have fewer vendors so that they're just simply allowing registration for fewer spots this year. And they are putting people further apart because normally they said that they have like 25 to 40 people.
Yes.
And this year they're having like 12.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And we are one of them. So we will be down there handing out information about the library and all the services that we offer and also doing library card signups because it is National Library Card Signup Month. So you can stop by that booth. And you can get a brand new library card, whether you have lost yours or whether you are a first-time library user. Bring the whole family, swing by, and we'll do that for you right there on the spot, no problem. And between every booth is going to be like a parallel parking space, of empty space.
Right.
So they're trying their best to meet the needs of the community and to have these events and to offer these services and to still be safe as as they reasonably can.
Which is greatly appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Ashley down at the Rowan County Arts Center, she does a great job. She works really hard. I always enjoy working with her and talking to her. And she's obviously worked with Moorhead Tourism, and they have thought this through. And it's difficult right now to find that balance because we felt that pressure here.
Oh, absolutely, we have.
What do we cancel? What do we postpone? What do we have in spite of the dangers? And just sometimes things change and we have to cancel stuff and we have to put things off, just like we canceled programming for August and September. But as far as I know, we're having Arts and Antiques. We're also having Arts and Eats, I guess. But that programming is coming back for us in October as well. Of course, we've posted about that on social media. Right now, as when you hear this podcast, which will be September the 4th, or at least that's when it will go up on YouTube, then we should be bringing back all of our programming in one fell swoop in October.
Fingers crossed.
Yep, so it's going to be packed.
It's going to be a big month if everything goes as planned.
Yeah, because we were going to trickle things back. We're bringing a few things back in August, a few things back in September. If you go back and listen to previous episodes of this podcast, you'll hear us discussing that. And then, everything was going to kind of come back full swing in October. And now everything's still coming back full swing in October. But we didn't get to really stair step in. So, Device Advice, Writer's Workshop, Teen Anime Club, On Board, Preserving Your Heritage, Chow Club, Children's Story Time, Toddler Time, Crafted Around, and Creative Coloring and Coffee, Lego Club.
Oh my goodness.
Have I forgotten anything else?
Not that I can think of, aside from, I know that there are going to be some one-off programs that are
right. Like Fall Fun Night is in October,
right.
and I believe that Adult Fall Crafting Night is also in October.
Yes, and Superhero Training Camp will be in October as well. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because there is no programming in September, so everything that was going to happen in September has been bumped forward to October. So yes, Superhero Training Camp will be in October as well. So it's all coming back. And of course, if we have to cancel or postpone, then that will remain true for the following month. So presumably, if we cannot bring you these programs in October, then in November, when it is safe to do so, fingers crossed, it will all just kind of slam back down all at once. But back to this month, we also have, ironically, unfortunately, it's the same day as Arts and Antiques is when we have the 5K for the Read Walk Challenge.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and that is nobody's fault because the Read and Walk Challenge was organized by Fleming County.
Right.
And they picked what their research and their numbers show, presumably, was the best day. And it just so happens to be the day that we're doing the Arts and Antiques Fair here in Rowan County. Yeah.
Man, so we're a little divided.
Yeah, we are. I'm really disappointed because I wanted to go up and help with the Read and Walk Challenge and be there for the finale. And now I'm going to be at the Arts and Antiques Fair, so I'm going to miss that. But I know that a lot of our staff are going.
Yes.
Cindy will be there. Julie will be there. I think Jordan might be there. Some other people. But if you've not been participating in the Read and Walk Challenge, there is still time. Mary Puente at the Fleming County Public Library organized this event, and it has been wonderful, and y'all have contributed so much. I think we won every month.
I feel like we didn't win.
Was there 1 month? Like maybe
August or July? I can't remember
one of them.
I know that we won the first.
We won June for sure.
We won May.
Did we win May?
We did.
Was May the first month or was April when it started?
I can't remember.
That's what I can't remember if
I feel like it started in April.
I feel like someone else won in April and that's when it started. And then we took the trophy in May and we held it all through July. And then I think we still had it in August, but I'm not sure. And then last time that I checked the numbers, I believe that we were way ahead for September.
We're ill prepared to give you the stats on this.
Yeah, Julie has been tracking that. She's the one who has been doing all the magic on our end and keeping up with those numbers. And Cindy has been doing all of the walking. My gosh.
She absolutely
Cindy is so far out in front of the rest of us staff-wise. Now, of course, patrons, you have done a lot of walking and reading as well because the Read and Walk Challenge was meant to raise awareness and enthusiasm for audiobooks. And the idea was download an audiobook, get you a play away, go out walking, get your steps in, go bird watching, go for a hike or something and listen to an audiobook while you do. But like that part has been successful. A lot of audiobooks have been read, but also just the pedometers, the numbers show as far as people have been tracking in the Challenge Runner app. And a lot of steps have been taken. A lot of walking has been done. I saw some of the numbers and I was like, wow,
far more than I can say for myself.
Yeah, Rowan County getting your steps in, and I'm starting to feel a little bad, kind of actually.
Watching the stats from our couches.
Yeah, exactly. Watching the numbers go up, and I'm just like, oh wow, man.
Yep. Sitting in my living room binging Survivor.
Yeah.
You guys go.
Yes, you have knocked it out of the park. So, and speaking of the park, it will be over there in Fleming County by the Dairy Queen, where we are going to have a 5K run and walk challenge. And right now you can still pre-register. It is $10 to pre-register. And you can do that by downloading a printable form off our website on our programming page. You can also swing by the desk and we can give you a form, and you can go to any other participating library. So you can go to Fleming County or Robertson or wherever and you can get a form. So just go to your local library and pick one up. Also, if you pre-register, then that helps us know how many t-shirts for the 5K Read and Walk Challenge we need of each size. So pre-registering means that you're locking in your t-shirt to guarantee that you'll get one of the appropriate size. You can still show up to the 5K on the day of, and you can register then, but registration is $15 if you register that morning. And they will have some extra shirts on hand, but they can't guarantee a size. They're just going to print some extra of each size. And then when they're gone, they're gone. So like if you need a large, if you need a small, if you need a 2X, then we definitely recommend that you pre-register. And there will be prizes for, I think, all the different age categories. So it's like children, teens, young adult, and seniors. There will be a different prize for each of those categories. And I believe Julie said that they were also adding a 1 mile fun walk to that as well.
I think that's correct. Yes.
So there are no prizes for the fun walk, but that way you can still participate and you can still, kind of help the cause, help with your registration. You can still get a t-shirt. You can still help raise awareness. So if you don't do the 5K, if you're not comfortable with that, or if you feel like you're just not physically able to do the 5K, then you can do the 1 mile and it's at your pace. There are no winners. There are no losers. The 1 mile is just to kind of be there and be part of it. And that's still great. Everything helps, and everyone who participates is still a winner in our eyes. And that sounds really cheesy,
but it's absolutely
but it is true. I promise I mean it. We do mean it, because this has been great, and I've got to call Mary and thank her for organizing this, and we're going to have to do something like this next year again for spring and summer as well, because this has been a great idea, and I really feel like this was something that all of our communities got a lot out of during quarantine.
I absolutely think so too, and I think that it's been a really great tool as far as bringing all of the communities from all of these different libraries and these different surrounding counties together.
Absolutely.
We don't, there's not a lot of programming that we have the opportunity to do that allows us to interact with not only other libraries, but other patron bases. And it's just been really great for everybody involved, I think.
Yeah, because that's the thing is we love working with other libraries. And so we try to partner when we can with Fleming County, with Morgan County, with Elliott County, and so on. But partnering with a library is not the same thing as being able to directly engage the patrons from other counties. And so when the whole library system of our region is able to come together like this and do something as a group of libraries that gets all of our patrons talking and working together and going in the same direction to accomplish something cool, then I think that's really great. That's an opportunity not to be missed. And so many folks are using the pandemic and the quarantine as an opportunity to learn new hobbies, learn new skills, but also to just get up and move. There are a lot of folks who now either, working from home, or who perhaps are not working at the moment, and who are spending a lot more time at home for various reasons, are realizing, like all of us, how much time we spend sitting down staring at a computer screen, because that's just what a lot of work entails now. That even if you are in some form of skilled labor, such as road work or mail carrying, or even if you work in customer service or retail or food services, a significant portion of what we do still involves looking at computer screens, and oftentimes just kind of sitting down, typing, doing data entry, whatever. And so folks have really been interested in chances to get up and move around and make good use of this time. And I think this has been really constructive. It certainly has inspired me.
Yes, I absolutely agree. And I think another thing that it's been exceptionally good for, of course, the whole idea behind this was to get more people to branch out and experience just the entire world of audiobooks as a whole. But I've had so many people during the course of the Read and Walk Challenge who had never heard of or used a playaway before.
Yeah.
That have had their first experiences with playaways and absolutely fell in love with the convenience of them. So if anyone listening doesn't know, a playaway it's just a little handheld device, almost like an MP3 player, but it has an audiobook on it. So rather than CDs, you can just plug a pair of headphones into this device, stick it in your pocket, go for a run. It's truly, I think, an amazing advancement in the world of audiobooks in general. And a lot of people still have never used one. So definitely come check a playaway out if you haven't.
Yeah, we have a lot of folks who are dedicated playaway users, that they really love the devices, but it seems like probably at least once every couple of weeks, if not once a week, whenever I am helping out with circulation or I am in the front desk area, I hear someone commenting like, "What are those things in the orange cases?" Or "What was that person just checked out? Did you say was that a book?" And they're always amazed, and they're always like curious to learn. And I think playaways, I know that you could, like you said, you can plug headphones directly into them. A lot of people also use auxiliary cords to plug them into their cars or stereos, and they'll listen to them for like road trips. They'll check out 2 or 3 and take them on
fantastic for vacations.
I think that a number of library professionals to whom I have spoken have been kind of surprised by the success of the playaway. And I have to admit, I'm kind of one of them. When I thought, okay, we have books on CD, and CDs, much like audio cassettes before them and 8-tracks before them and vinyls before that, are phasing out. Everything is becoming digital, and that includes our music and our audiobooks and so forth. And the fact that we already offer multiple apps that allow you to download and engage audiobooks without having to fool with a disc or a device kind of had me wondering, like, what's the niche for these? Like, who's checking these out? Who's using these? Why do we have these? Who thought that this was a good idea? And most importantly, how much staying power do they have? How long are these going to last? Why are we spending so much money to maintain this collection and build it up and circulate them, when obviously these have a time limit kind of built into them? And the fact is, I am constantly surprised by our playaway circulation. Folks love them.
I was surprised by it for a while as well, because I think that I had the same train of thought that you did. I went through the whole thought process of why check out this device that you can plug a pair of headphones into when you can just as easily plug a pair of headphones into your cell phone or
right, because everyone has a smartphone or a tablet or something nowadays, and you can just use Libby on that or Hoopla on that.
But I think part of what really sets them apart is, especially for road trips and situations where you may be driving through a really long stretch of no cell service, that playaway isn't going to lose signal.
Right. And using a playaway isn't going to run down the battery on your phone. So, like, let's say that you are traveling or you are out on a hike.
Sure.
Even if you're in an area where you've got signal, you may want to try and baby your battery level. You want to make sure that you've got battery in case you need help, in case you break down, in case you are waiting for an important call. And when you're using a playaway, then it uses a AAA battery, but it's not using the battery on your phone.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that it's really dynamic in terms of where you can listen to it, how you can listen to it. And I'm sure that you are correct. Like any type of audio device, any type of listening device, they always do eventually phase out. But I don't even think that playaways have seen their peak yet. And I do think that they will end up with the type of lifespan that books on CD or books on tape had. I think that still in many ways they are very much up and coming, and still in many ways people, even if they have heard of them, haven't experienced them to their full potential. They're just a really neat, convenient device.
Yeah, and I think our senior patrons are probably our biggest demographic for playaways. And I think part of that might have to do with they are very easy to engage.
Yes.
So for a lot of our senior patrons who do not always feel equally comfortable as we do, people our age do, with their smartphones, with their mobile devices.
Sure.
A playaway is very simple. It's very easy to use. There is a stop, there is a play, there is a pause, and then there is a fast forward and rewind.
Right, exactly. And then you don't have to go to the trouble of, well, this is the app that you need to download, and here's your login information, and don't forget that. And you can either read this book in your browser or you can download it to your device. It's so cut and dry. Just plug your headphones in, power it on, and hit play.
Exactly. And those are buttons that everyone understands. And I think that that's part of what it is playaways probably have a lifespan that's close to ours, because all the people who are using them most, not everyone who's using them, but the people who are using them most are the folks who they appreciate that simplicity for what it is. And so until we become the senior patrons, like we're the first generation, the oldest generation that really is super comfortable with that kind of technology, like with our smartphones and our apps, and that find them to be intuitive. And I think that means that they're not going to phase out until we do.
Right.
Because even we, like as a kid, I had a Walkman. I had like a portable CD player.
Yeah.
And so I get that technology. I get that convenience, and I appreciate that. And so until everyone in every age category feels equally comfortable with all of the technology that we're using, there's always going to be a division of technology that is not just convenient, but also necessary, because you need to serve all of those different demographics. And that's what we try to do, and that's why we maintain that collection. But also, I have to stress, playaways, I don't want to advertise them like they are just for seniors.
No, absolutely.
Absolutely not, because everyone is using them. And we have a lot of children's playaways. And I've heard parents more than once comment on how convenient those are, because they can do something like, think about how many different kinds of portable speakers there are nowadays. Right, Bluetooth speakers and stuff like that, or separate little speakers that have an aux port. So you can check out children's bedtime stories or Mother Goose rhymes or things like that on Playaway, and you can just plug them in and let your child sleep to them. Or you can, because they are very easy for even a child to operate, you can allow a child to engage audiobooks and to learn about audiobooks by having them operate the Playaway. And yes, younger generations we joke about them being born with an iPad in their hands, but everyone has to start somewhere, and nobody gets technology instantaneously. So I think that it's useful at both ends of the spectrum, where a lot of toddlers, a lot of small kids who also maybe they don't have an iPad, they don't have a smartphone of their own because they're 7. Why would they?
Why would they?
Why would they? But a playaway they can engage because everyone understands stop, go, pause, fast forward, rewind.
Absolutely. I'm starting to feel like I need to plug not sponsored. Right.
Yeah.
We've been talking up playaways for a solid 5 minutes.
Run us our check, playaway.
You're welcome.
Yes, the playaway brand name TM.
Yeah.
Hashtag not sponsored. Yeah, this became the Playaway podcast real quick, but I mean, you can tell that's the thing is we are passionate about all of our collections, and if we got off on a tangent about graphic novels or about nonfiction or about our biographies or about our 100 books before kindergarten or whatever, we could both spend 45 minutes easy talking about all of those.
We do have incredible collections, and they are curated very specifically and very intentionally for our community. And we really do our best to make sure that all of you guys in every division of age and accessibility and interest have anything and everything that you could want from us. And if you don't find something here, we're always so happy to order whatever is readily available to us for you. So keep that in mind if you're ever looking for something that we don't have.
Absolutely. Because if we can't get it in our catalog, another library does have it somewhere that we can borrow from them. That interlibrary loan is a thing. It's a wonderful thing. And that is one of the most important parts of the library world and of being a librarian, I think, is being able to communicate with other libraries to make sure that, like, if you here need a book about calculus for a college level class that we do not have, then that's okay. Because even if some library in Portland, Oregon, or some library in San Francisco, California, or some library in Phoenix, Arizona has that book, they will send it to us and you can still borrow it. And to me, that is amazing.
Because
honestly,
those libraries want you to have that book too.
Yeah, like that's the incredible part of it is we treasure our patrons. But there is no such thing as a patron of just one library. When you engage a library, you are engaging all libraries, which is why when we go to like conferences, like the one coming up in October, the Kentucky Library Association conference covers and includes public libraries like ours, school libraries, such as we have here at Rowan County Senior High School or Tilden Hogg Elementary, or any of our wonderful schools. They cover academic libraries such as Camden Carroll over at Morehead State University, and they cover special libraries just like our very own Kentucky Room. And all the librarians who work in all of those different systems are invited to come and collaborate and communicate and to network and to make friends with and get to know each other, and also to discuss how we can best serve one another's patrons. And I know that in my position, one of my favorite parts of the job is talking to librarians at other systems and hearing from them. So how did this work for your patrons? What are you doing to serve your community that we could do to serve ours? But also, what could we do to help serve your community? What can we do at the Flemingsburg Library or at the Bath County Library or at the Menifee County Library to make things better for Rowan County patrons? What can our library do to help your library? And that astounds me every time that I come across it. And that's why every time that our OCLC courier and our KYVL courier come by to drop off books and to pick up other interlibrary loans that we're sending out to other libraries, that to me is just the magic never goes away. I'm like a little kid, and it's the first time every time I see that guy pull up in that truck and he's got the colored zipper bags for the books. And it's like, oh, where are these books going today?
What
really
are we getting? It does very much feel like what are we getting and what are we giving? And
yeah, it's like Christmas every time. Once a week.
Much is. I truly believe that libraries as a whole, as an interlocking system, it really just is one of the absolute most familial career paths I think that you can take.
Absolutely.
It truly just feels like an enormous community, whether it's a library in a surrounding county or halfway across the world. We're all striving toward the same goal, and that's an incredible feeling.
Exactly. Like, when in the conflict between Israel and Palestine, there were libraries in Palestine that were damaged or destroyed. And the same thing has happened in places like Afghanistan, in other places, anywhere that there's conflict.
Man, the Library of Alexandria.
Exactly. Yeah, all through history, and that's one of the things that happens in conflicts. And I think it's not political to say that one of the reasons that happens, that libraries are often targets, is because of the services that they provide, because there's so much more than books, but also free information and free education is freeing.
Absolutely.
It's these are the tools that we use to communicate with one another and to find one another, as people, and to connect with one another. And so they belong to all of us, and librarians everywhere share that mindset. So when those things happen, libraries and librarians around the world all stepped up, whether it was to deliver a message because that's all they could do, of support, or whether it was to donate books, they started weeding collections and sending discards, or because they had bigger budgets, they would buy new books and send them to help rebuild these damaged and destroyed libraries. And the same thing happens locally here, when we have a major flood or there is a fire and library materials are damaged. Other libraries step in. This even happened recently with our Overdrive collection. Of course, there is a statewide consortium. And what happened was Overdrive, as a service, the company that owns them absorbed some other digital library companies. And so, like RB Digital, for example, was purchased by Rakuten, or at least what used to be Zinio. And that's what became Overdrive magazines. And they gave us a special rate for signing up, because a lot of us were already existing Zinio customers. So to bring Overdrive magazines to our patrons and make those available, they gave us a special rate. And then, just due to the rights negotiations with the people, the publishers who provide the magazines and the periodicals that Overdrive then provides to us secondhand, they had to renegotiate those rates. And without hesitation, when some smaller libraries with smaller budgets and smaller service areas said, we can't afford this, we cannot keep this magazine subscription, we cannot offer these to our patrons anymore if this is what it's going to cost this year because the price has gone up so much, other larger libraries immediately stepped in and said, we'll pay it.
Because that absolutely is what it's about. That's what libraries are about, and that is what the community of the system of libraries is about.
Yeah, I have never been in a job where I have felt more at home and more connected to the other people in the profession. Where, like if you are a systems analyst, you're not the only one, and you're going to talk to other people. If you are an attorney, any job, I just feel like librarians have that connection where if you meet another librarian, you are instantly friends.
Yes, absolutely. And I very much feel that way.
I've never gone to a conference where I felt unwelcome, where I felt like people weren't paying attention to what I said. Everyone wanted to hear everybody else's ideas. And in fact, if there was a problem, it was that there was only limited time and there were too many voices and too many ears, because everyone was constantly saying, well, here's my idea. And then everyone wanted to discuss that at length. And then the next person had an idea and the whole room wanted to discuss that at length, and so on ad infinitum, or infinitum, or my Latin's rusty. So ad nauseum, in fact. But I mean, and that's wonderful, because what that means is that we are always thinking of the best way to bring services to you and to our whole community.
Yes, what an incredible problem to have.
What an incredible problem to have, because like any family, we don't always agree on how to solve our problems or address them. We're not always necessarily pointed the same way, but when it comes to our patrons, when it comes to serving our communities, there is absolutely only one way to go. And that is something that we can all agree on.
Yes.
So, speaking of which, actually, we should probably mention to those folks who, are, however melancholically, perhaps still with us at this time. So I didn't mean to get maudlin or sentimental, or however you'd like to describe it, but I am a tear in my I do. I love.
He doesn't, just so everyone knows.
No, I do love my library, but like not enough to cry about it on microphone. Yeah, not enough to cry about it on main. No, that's the After Midnight social media account.
Right.
Is where I cry about my library. So catch me then. But no, we're having a book sale Labor Day week. So we are closed September the 6th for Labor Day. And then when we come back, that Tuesday through Friday, I believe?
I think through Saturday.
I know it's what is the 10th? I don't know days. The 10th is a Friday. I know Tim told me the 7th through the 10th, but I think what it is Saturday might be negotiable because that's how it was last time.
That's true. We did determine whether or not we would keep the sale going on Saturday, depending on how heavy the sale traffic was.
Exactly. So like basically it's Tuesday through Friday for sure. And then depending on how many books we still have left and how many of you are still coming up and wanting to buy books and other library materials, we may also do Saturday the 11th, perhaps.
But this will be our large sale, correct? So
this is not replacing the Friends of the Library annual book sale, but it is going to be a big one. Kind of like we had another one of these sidewalk sales a few months back, and people really loved it.
Is this going to be the same thing, essentially?
This is going to be similar. Yeah,
okay,
this is going to be the same. And we are taking a lot of perfectly good library materials that they're coming out of the collection. And we need to do something productive with them because, of course, as we get new materials, whether that's video games, movies, playaways, whatever, we have to get rid of old materials that are not circulating. So when circulation for an item kind of dies off, we weed it from the collection, we take it off the shelves, and then we have to go, all right, what happens now? And generally what happens is it goes to our Friends of the Library chapter, and they will often put it in their bookstore. And then when it is purchased from there, they get those funds, and they use those funds to help support the library community in a variety of ways. And that's wonderful. We love our Friends of the Library chapter. And if you're interested in joining the Friends of the Library, we are definitely interested in having you join. So please feel free to stop by or call or email us or hit us up on social media and get some information about that. And you can also find that on our website on our About page under How to Support Us. There's information about becoming a friend of the library. And you can get more information here and talk to folks about what it entails and exactly how it works. But this book sale is going to be a friend's book sale. And it is to clear out some of that bookstore inventory so that more can go in. Because, of course, with the quarantine, with the pandemic, we've had a lot of people reading. We've had people who were already readers reading more. We've had a lot of new and first-time readers, kids who missed out on some school because the schools were closed. And parents wanted them to continue their education. And so they're bringing them to the library and saying, okay, we've got to read. We've got to get educational books. So we've been getting a lot of requests. We've added a lot of things to the collection. A lot of old things have moved out, and we want them to move directly into your hands. So the Friends bookstore prices are already pretty cheap. Like it's usually, correct me if I'm wrong, it's like $2 for a hardcover.
Yes.
$1 for a softcover, 50 cents for a paperback, I think. And then most children's books are like 50 cents or $1.
It's actually, for the trade paperbacks, are only 25 cents.
Oh, just a quarter?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So it's 50 cents for children's books, 50 cents for CDs, DVDs, anything like that.
So Anne-Marie has the list memorized.
And then
is it $1
for soft covers, $2 for hardcover. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then $1 for movies and video games, I think? Or
50 cents.
50 cents?
50 cents.
Oh my, okay. And the reason that this is important is because this book sale from September 7th through the 10th is going to be half off.
Which is something that we have going on the first Monday of every month anyway. Anything that you get from the bookstore is half off. But having everything accumulated in one area for the entire week of a sale, that is not something I want to miss. I know that for
Absolutely.
sure.
Yeah, like I'm going to be desperate to at least one of those days come up and see what's available myself and pick through, because $1 for hardcover books, a quarter for a movie or a video game.
Right.
And I mean, some of those inventories, of course, are going to be flexible. Like we probably don't have as many video games out there or as many DVDs as we're going to have books. And likewise, we're probably going to have way more fiction than we will have nonfiction, just in general, because that's how it always is. But there's always good stuff. I know at the last sidewalk sale, I came home with at least 3 hardcover books that I desperately wanted to add to my collection, and I was like, oh, how do I not have these?
Oh, I have a full like moving box in the back of my car, 100% full of books from our last sale that I just haven't taken inside yet because it's so heavy. There are so many that
in other words, we do recommend bringing a tote or a box of your own or something to carry books in because you might take that many away.
We may still have some boxes from the last sale. I'm not sure if we used them all or got rid of them.
I don't know, but we do have totes if you need them, and I think those are $4 for a library tote.
Yes.
So you can buy a bag here and stuff it full of books for very little money. So absolutely. Now, these are not new books. These are weeded from the collection. If you want a brand new book, then go to Coffee Tree Books on Main Street and order through them. That's our local bookstore, and that's who you want to support because these books are going to be what they call, they're weeded. They're discards. There's different terms for them, but they are they'll have shelfware.
Gently used.
You've probably seen them before. Sometimes you'll see these books that have the end of, like, the front cover will be trimmed off, like the first inch of the cover. Now, we don't do that, but there may be stickers on them. And they will have a little bit of wear on the cover where they've been put on the shelf and taken off from out between other books so many times they've been handled. But of course, we have menders here. We take care of our books. They're all in good condition. If you've come to a book sale or to our bookstore before, you know what to expect. And so we will be expecting to see a lot of you coming up to grab armloads of books. Don't miss it. It's definitely worth stopping by. And I think that's about it for September because unfortunately, everything else we were going to do here had to get pushed forward. So yeah, it's all external events at this point. But, of course, we will be talking more about October programming probably next time, giving you a heads up about all of that. And we will always try to give you some notice whether it's here, whether it's on social media or our website or other announcements regarding any postponements or cancellations, because right now everything has to remain like asterisk subject to cancellation.
Right. I know that it can be incredibly disheartening and disappointing to have been looking forward to something for months and then, get the news that it's been canceled or pushed back again. But we promise that we are doing everything that we can to bring these programs back for you guys. We're trying to keep it as safe as possible so that we can move forward with all of our wonderful community programs, whether they be the recurring programs that you've known and loved over the years or new one-off programs that maybe we haven't done before. Or maybe you haven't experienced. So just bear with us and hang in there. We will bring them back as soon as humanly possible, we promise.
Yes, because we miss you. We miss you all. We miss seeing the library packed and busy, and we miss seeing people come in by the dozens several nights a week for all of these different programs, and we miss hosting them and talking to you and getting to know new faces and seeing old faces. There's so many regular patrons from technology classes, from board game night, from other programs that I miss dearly, and we can't wait to see you all again. So hang in there, be safe, and maybe we will see you at the Arts and Antiques Fair or at the Read and Walk 5K or at the book sale. And if not, then we will see you for the next episode. And until then, I'm Morgan.
I'm Emery.
And this has been The Reading Room, the podcast brought to you by your Rowan County Public Library.